episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I'm your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about The Jersey Devil by Hunter Shea. This is from Pinnacle Books, and it's about the Jersey Devil. So what you've got here is the Jersey Devil, an old cryptid legend, and at the time of our story, Jersey Devil sightings are on the rise, and our main character is Sam Boompa Willett, and he and his family have a vendetta against the Jersey Devil. Something happened to Sam like 60 years ago that involved the Jersey Devil. So now that the sightings have sort of picked up, he and his family are going to see if they can find the devil and take it out and solve a little mystery that involves their family. And along the way, they recruit this guy Norm Cranston, who's a cryptid expert. He's got a TV show. He writes books on cryptids and everything. He comes along to help out. And there's plenty of other stuff going on. Lots of little people. We get to see a lot of these Jersey Devil sightings. You know, we follow the people that have gone into the Pine Barrens and have encounters with the devil. So that's basically what's going on in this book. Right off the bat, I love the combination of Hunter Shea and Pinnacle. This is his third book, 3 years in a row, and I've loved all three. Last year, his book, Tortures the Damned, was pretty much my favorite book of the year. Just absolutely fantastic. If Hunter Shea and Pinnacle can just keep putting out a book a year, I'd be happy. I'd love to sit down and read these, and this is no exception. This is a really fantastic story. Hunter himself is a huge fan of cryptids. His first book with Pinnacle was The Montauk Monster, and he's had other books from other publishers. The Dover Demon immediately comes to mind. Hunter writes fantastic characters, and the Willett family, and I'm not going to go into all of their names because it's a generational family. Really great characters, and they all have their distinct personalities. And one of the things I really liked about this, I think typically, maybe it's just me, but typically, I feel like when you have this big family, and they all have this sort of this one thing that kind of keeps them together and drives them. In this case, it's the Jersey Devil. Typically, you have at least one member of the family that's going to rebel against it. He's, gives you oh, you're all crazy. There's no such thing as the Jersey Devil. I don't want to be involved in this. That does not happen in this story. This is a very cohesive family. They all have their own lives. Well, they own a farm, so most of their lives revolve around the farm, but they have their own interests. They have their own jobs to do as far as the family business goes. And they're not all necessarily in the business. But when it comes to the devil, they are one cohesive unit. They all know what's at stake, and they're all of one mind. For the most part. I mean, there are points where they're like, hey, we should do this. No, we should do this. But it's still all about the Jersey Devil. And I like that you don't have that typical rebellious character. Norm Cranston, really interesting character, kind of that. Again, he's this cryptid expert, and he sort of gets dragged into something that's much bigger than he expected it to be. And those are our main characters, but aside from them, we do have these tertiary characters, some with slightly bigger roles than others, but they all still have distinct personalities. They're interesting characters. We have, there's a couple that wants to start a sort of a Jersey Devil camping tour weekend adventure thing. And they're not a huge part of the story, but they're there, they're in it, and they have their own distinct personality from everybody else. some a couple of couples that go out. They're just camping in the woods. It just happens to be in Jersey Devil territory. Those Pine Barrens, you got to be careful out there. Um, and they have their distinct personalities. And even though they're not necessarily a huge part of the story, I think you're going to care about what happens to them. Some of them last a little longer than others. Um, so really, Hunter writes fantastic characters, and this is no exception. It's an interesting story. I love Hunter teamed up with Pinnacle. They're just fantastic books. Um, Now, I'm going to kind of go off a little bit here, um, because one of the things I like about Hunter's cryptid books is they remind me, this is going to seem weird, but they remind me of Max Allan Collins' Nathan Heller mysteries. And if you're unfamiliar with this, Nathan Heller's a fictional private detective who, I haven't read every single one, but I believe most of them, in most of the Nathan Heller books, this fictional private detective gets involved in real life unsolved mysteries, typically murder. Um, and if they were maybe solved in real life, there were still a lot of unanswered questions. And what Max Allan Collins does in these Nathan Heller mysteries is he essentially solves the mystery or answers the questions. Um, so, and I don't know if the solutions that he gives are what he actually believes happened based on whatever evidence is available, or if he just thinks this makes a good logical solution. But he does solve these mysteries. What that has to do with the Jersey Devil and Hunter Shea? Well, in Hunter's cryptid books, most notably the Montauk Monster, the Dover Demon, and the Jersey Devil, Hunter gives us the definitive origin of these creatures, because they're all legendary. Again, they're cryptids, and there's always some question. There's different stories about what they actually are or where they actually came from. And in all three of the books that I've mentioned, Hunter gives us, within the fictional construct of the story, gives us a definitive answer to where these creatures come from. So you will learn, again, within the fictional confines of the story, you will learn the true origin of the Jersey Devil. If you read Dover Demon, you'll learn what that actually is. And the same with Montauk Monster. And I like that. Again, I don't know if this is simply what Hunter thinks is the most logical answer, again, within the confines of fiction, or if just it's the one that he finds the most interesting. But I like, in the X-Files, so many times, it's left unanswered. And I think someone just mentioned, I don't remember it, although I watched all the X-Files. I don't remember there was a Jersey Devil episode, apparently. And a lot of those episodes left you with questions. Was there really a Jersey Devil in the episode itself? And which is fine. I have no problem with that. But sometimes it's nice to have answers. And, well, for one thing, there's no question that there's Jersey Devils in this book, because there's lots of crazy monster mayhem, which I absolutely love. But, again, we have a definitive origin to the Jersey Devil. And I like that. I like that Hunter will give us that. So yes, I mentioned lots of crazy monster mayhem. A lot of characters don't make it. That's why you have a lot of these tertiary characters. You got to have the cannon fodder in a book like this. And yeah, there's some crazy stuff that the Jersey Devil does. And there's some interesting B stories going on, and everything kind of ties together really nicely. And it's interestingly, to me, sometimes when I'm reading a book like this, maybe halfway through, I get the feeling, I start to think, well, where's it going to go? He's covered a lot of stuff already. I'm not sure how much more there is to tell. Well, there's plenty to tell, and he tells it very well. Um, and I'm not saying that I've gotten bored at any point. Just, I start to wonder anyway. Okay, well, he's kind of covered this, and they've done this. What else is there? Except, it seems like maybe there should be a straight line to the end point. Well, no, there's a lot of other paths to take, and they're very entertaining. Really, this again, it's Hunter and Pinnacle. These books, I don't want to put them down. I just want to sit and read from beginning to end, and I want to reread them. I don't know. There's something about the feel of a nice paperback book, and just so well written. Wonderful characters, wonderful monster action. Absolutely fantastic. So that's the Jersey Devil by Hunter Shea. I'll just jump right into my rating. Unfortunately, I was not going to try to draw the Jersey Devil. Way too complicated for my talents, and far too time consuming. So I went with 5 out of 5 sets of Jersey Devil tracks. And apparently he's a very polite Jersey Devil because he stayed on the pathway. But that's what you've got. That's what you're looking at. I know it doesn't make much sense, but it's 5 out of 5 is the important part. 5 out of 5 Jersey Devil tracks. Really another winner from Hunter Shea. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. And again, he and Pinnacle are such a great match. I don't know exactly what it is. As much as I like his other stuff, the Pinnacle stuff just seems to hit the sweet spot. So I hope he keeps working with them. I'm going to pick up and read whatever he's putting out, but there's just something special about this pair. So the Jersey Devil, Hunter Shea, absolutely a must-read for horror fans. I will have a link or two for the book in the description below. As always, there'll at least be an Amazon link. I think I've started putting Barnes & Noble links in as well. So you can, you should go to your local bookstore and pick it up. That's always the best way to do it. Help support your local bookstore, and it shows, that sort of point of sale, I think, makes a difference. But, if you don't have a local bookstore, order it on Amazon, order it online. Just pick it up and read it. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. So I know I kind of tend to be vague sometimes in my reviews because I don't want to give anything away, especially something as good as this. I don't want to give anything at all away. But if you have questions about the story, just put them in the comments. I'll answer them just with a spoiler warning. So please like, share, and subscribe. And I guess that's it. So this has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.